Time to do some sketchy shit. Doo-dah, doo-dah. Hope I get away with it. Oh, doo-dah day.
Hi there, folks. This is Dan Hallfield. Welcome to Stupid O'Clock. Joe Dog's going to be a little bit late tonight, but we do believe that he will show up eventually. And we've got John Scarborough, and we just been having a little interesting backstage discussion.
Yes, we have. From what I understand, Joe is on eBay right now. He's in a bidding war to get Leslie Nielsen's old fart machine.
Okay.
It's just, anyway, see, we got our regular cast of characters with us. We see, what was that old TV show, Romper Room? I see Donna. And I see Carl. Let me see who else we got up there. That's all we got so far.
Nobody else yet, except for you and me.
I went out and mowed the yard today, and while I was mowing the yard, my neighbor started mowing his yard, and then the neighbor behind me started mowing his yard. Then after a while, I think I heard 20 lawnmowers in my neighborhood.
Trendsetter.
Well, it is supposed to start thunderstorming tomorrow and thunderstorm all weekend. So if you don't mow the grass now, you won't get a chance till next week.
So. Yeah. I have already made that calculation, decided that probably Tuesday. Dawn is at a comedy show right now.
Is she starring in it or watching?
She's attending, is what I'm.
Because hey, open mic night, stand-up comedy. She may find a forte there.
Hey,
if they have an ice machine.
A bit like Rocky Horror. A toast.
So I cooked steaks on the grill today. Went to Costco Tuesday and got a pack of sirloins because they had prime sirloin for the same price as the just choice sirloins.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure, but I think whoever was running the pricing sticker machine may have put in the wrong code. And because I think I got about $50 worth of meat for $25. So
hey, don't complain. You don't want to get them in trouble.
It's too late now. As many people. I was shocked at how many people were there on a Tuesday. I usually, I don't like going on the weekends. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The place is just a grazing madhouse because they put out those sample tables and you get like a half dozen grazers at each one. And you can't get through the aisles because there's people just sitting there with their shopping carts eating whatever the sample table is providing for them.
Yeah.
So, and of course, by Monday their shelves aren't quite restocked yet. Tuesday, they're starting to get them restocked. By Thursday, they've got all the orders in, so they're ready to go for the weekend. So I always try to go on Thursday. That's just the best day to go.
Yeah. I had, I think, we'd gone shopping over the weekend, and Saturday evening, I thawed out the bag of marinade that I had made a week or so before and dropped 4 decently sized pieces of steak in there. Not huge, but, smaller than $1 a bill, but not much. And really thick on 3 of them.
That's the best kind because they cook so well.
And I let them marinate for about 60 hours. And every 12 hours, I would flip the baggie over so that, everything got covered. And then pan fried them. Because I'm not fighting a bunch of bumblebees and wasps using my grill. Excuse me.
That is one of the things I like about that smoker grill. You fire that sucker up and all the bugs go away.
Yeah, I imagine so. Lindsay is wanting to start shopping for me a good smoker grill that's not going to be rusted out in 2 years, like the El Cheapos that we've been getting, just the regular bucket on a wheel.
We bought one of those Traegers and we've had minor issues with it. Nothing.
Is that a pellet?
That's one of the electric pellet grills. It's a convection grill, so it runs the warm air through, over the hot pellets. So it's like that. But it's real nice. It's got a thermostat, so you set the temperature you want, or you can set it to smoke. The newer ones have the one I've got has one grate in it. The newer ones will have 2, like a smaller upper level and a lower level, which is kind of nice. And they got these new ones. They're Wi-Fi enabled, so you can actually monitor what's going on. The only problem with them is that people use them so infrequently that every time they fire it up and it hooks into the Wi-Fi, it goes to do an update.
And takes a while.
And yeah,
I don't really think I want my grill tied into the Wi-Fi. We get enough problems.
There are custom control panels you can get for these things. So, it's, you look online, there's all sorts of gizmos for them darn things. And I had one, the induction fan, the bearing wore out on it. So we had to get a new induction fan. I had to get a new flame pot because, anytime you burn something in a steel pot, it gets rusty and holes rust in it. They make stainless steel versions, but Traeger still uses just a steel one. And I replaced the old one, and it's been going strong since 6 years now, so no problem there either.
Yeah, Donna says that's the kind Carl's brother has. It's great. My brother has one of those, and he likes to show off, which is lucky, as they just get to show up and eat. Yeah.
I'll tell you the one thing that's really nice is you got the thermostat. Okay, so you can, if you want to do recipes, you can do recipes, like 350 degrees for 2 hours or whatever. You set it, and it 350 degrees for 2 hours, no problem.
There's one of the families that I watch over in England on YouTube. They bought a Franklin grill and had it imported from the United States. It is as big as a Volkswagen. and they've been trying to figure out how to keep the fire and the heat inside at an even level. But the man of the family keeps opening the cover to stick a thermostat in the meat, and he finally went ahead. He bought a think it's
Remote
I think
thermostat
it's yeah, I think it's a Bluetooth thermostat. Yeah, he just
meter. They got one called the meter. Meter company has several, and it's a big steel rod. Basically, you poke in there,
yeah.
and it's you stand by there, and it's got the little wireless remote tells you how hot everything is.
hmm That way he doesn't have to keep opening it and checking things, but he opens it and checks things anyway.
That is my one problem with the Traeger. No window, which oh well. But of course, most recipe, unless you're smoking a brisket or something like that, they have a really great. If you go online, most of the grills come with a cookbook.
Yeah.
Like the one I always suggest people, if they buy it, I have Traeger fan site on Facebook. But when people buy it, say, "What's the first thing I should cook?" Well, you do that first test burn to get all the chemicals and stuff, out of the grill. Make sure it's nice. Then once that's done, the one thing I always suggest to them: 3-2-1 ribs. It's baby back ribs. You coat them in mustard base, slather them in mustard, and put them on the grill for 3 hours on smoke, or somewhere between smoke and 225. You then wrap them in foil, coat them in honey and brown sugar, and add some apple juice, and then put them in aluminum foil and let them sit in there at 225 for 2 hours. Then the last hour, you pull it out, drain off all the juice and everything, put the grill ribs back on the grill, and put your barbecue sauce on them for 1 hour. And if you can get them things off the grill in one piece, I'll be impressed. Because they come out so tender that it's hard to pull those ribs off the grill unless you've got like 3 spatulas.
Yeah. Sorry, I was just banning a couple of trolls.
Oh,
yes. Well, one of them started off
don't give them any credit.
reasonable, and then immediately went to yada yada yada. I'm here to throw insults and yeah. Fine. Goodbye.
Goodbye. Nice knowing you.
Nice not knowing you.
Say, your mama is not allowed to wear Malcolm X t-shirts because helicopters kept trying to land on her back.
Oh, we could go way. I mean, seriously. I worked in a factory. You were in the military. We could insult some people.
Poor sweet summer child. Just bring it on.
Oh, get Carl in here, and we could even get a shrink in on the deal. Oh Lord.
Where is our crowd of miscreants here? That's
scattered about the globe as usual. I thought Zach was on his way home from England.
Is he on his way home? Okay.
I don't know. I thought one of his posts showed that he was in a plane and was going. I could get used to this kind of service.
I thought he was going to India.
Oh, that could be true too. That could be true too. Yes, he was going to go to India. I had not remembered the time frame. That might be about right. So he probably somewhere having some good curry for a change. after being in England and getting the British curry. Oh dear. Oh. No, but Lindsay had grilled a tray of vegetables, and we had that with the steaks. And um, I finally had the bright idea to get the little screen splatter thing out of the cabinet and put it over the frying pan so that I wasn't getting
What were you frying?
burned. It's a steak, pan fried steak. Um, basically, had it marinating for 60 hours, and then because Lindsay had something at church where they were going to have a potluck. So by the time she got back from that, it would have been my preferred 48-hour marinate time, but she wasn't hungry, so I made a sandwich and just let it sit in the fridge a couple of turns extra. Next day, cooked it up. It was very good. I probably should have turned the heat off about 3 to 5 minutes earlier. I mean, it was done all the way through, which was what I was concerned about, because she gets worried about the meat being pink in the middle and not being healthy. So I just go ahead. I prefer medium myself. She prefers somewhere in between medium and well done. Oh, Carl, there were peppers and potatoes and broccoli and carrots and onions, and I mean it was good roasted vegetables. So it took me longer to eat than it took me to cook. I mean, I'm sitting here cutting up steak and shoveling it in for almost 45 minutes, and didn't take that long on the frying pan. She announced afterwards that once we get the new stove and range top, I need to figure out what I am going to cook first. So apparently, instead of sharing cooking duties, I have been at least nominated, if not elected. We shall see. Oh, there's the Joe Dog.
Whoops.
I didn't do anything.
I did. I brought him up, and he hadn't combed his hair yet. So
Okay.
I'm eating. I'll be with you in a few minutes, guys.
All right.
Okay.
Where's everybody else?
That is a good question.
You tell us. We showed up on time.
Well, I gave you plenty of warning.
Okay. Hey, when you start handing out raises, I want you to remember that we were here on time. Okay. Nobody else was, just us.
Yeah.
Well, Carl and Donna were here on time too. They're just not they're not on camera.
Well.
And if we're going to
And
start
why
paying,
not?
if we're going to start paying fans, I believe Donna will be a very tough contract negotiator.
What was it? Quantum. You remember the TV show Quantum Link? Dean Stockwell signed on to play Al. That's the thing. But one of the things was he wrote it into his contract that his character would smoke cigars, which was a cheap way to get the studio, Belisario Productions, to pay for his cigar habit. So.
Nobody ever said Dean Stockwell was stupid.
Nope. Because I think Arnold Schwarzenegger does the same thing too, but now.
Well.
Because I think he quit smoking actually.
Yeah.
He was a big cigar aficionado for a while, and then after a bit, you didn't see him smoking nearly so much. So.
Well, also, he got in so much trouble for passing out the exploding cigars.
Oh, yeah. Carl's got a point. They insist on good cigars. Studio might cheap out. Yeah, they probably would try. If they want to keep their stars on board, they better play ball. Oh, what am I going to cook next? Might try fried chicken again. I've got to get that right. That's a personal challenge.
Not too hard. Just I suggest a cast iron skillet unless you're going to deep fry them. At which point I suggest a stock pot.
I use the stock pot, but I think I did the breading wrong. So
I've heard the one you take the chicken out, and I've heard soaking it in milk, let it marinate in milk, and that helps with the batter in some case. I don't know what kind of batter they're using for that, but the other one I heard was you keep it in the fridge till right before you cook it. You pull it out and you wipe it off with a paper towel, get all the moisture off of it. And then I've heard double battering. I've never tried that one either. So it's...
no. I keep racking my brains to remember how my mom and my grandmothers used to do it. And definitely that was a cast iron skillet. That was not a stock pot.
Cast iron skillets are nice for frying stuff because they're so thick they hold heat and keeps your oil at a good temperature. One of the problems with sticking cold chicken into hot oil is it soaks up all the heat and you don't get that nice, And open flame, either gas oven or a fire, it's just something. Electric ovens aren't that good for frying chicken, but
hey, I grew up on electric ovens frying chicken, so
best fried chicken is cooked over a Coleman stove.
Okay,
I've got a Coleman stove. I've got a Coleman stove I can fry on, but it's a gas stove, so it's.
Oh, there was one blizzard in Athens where the power went out, and we realized, it's like 4 people living in the house, had a fireplace. We realized we had a box of steaks in the freezer with no electricity. So we fired up the fire in the fireplace. I got a broken fencing foil and used it for a spit, and just kind of a couple of times over lightly, and that was some of the best steaks I ever had.
It is amazing what you can come up. Well, first of all, if the electricity is out, you're bored and you're going to be paying attention to what you're cooking. That's one of the problems a lot of people have today. Is they'll go in and the TV's got this, phone's doing this, video games this, and just they aren't paying attention to their cooking. Either they don't cook it at the right temperature, or they cook it for too long. So,
yeah, this was back, I think, about 1979 or 1980, somewhere around in there. I'd have to look up when the blizzard hit Athens, Georgia. I know.
March of '93.
No, that was Chattanooga was the blizzard in '93.
It took out Atlanta and everywhere.
Yep. I know I was at a Comic-Con in Atlanta in winter of '78. And we got up the second day of the con, and there was like 6 inches of ice across the ground. And we kind of slid our way down to a Waffle House that was still going. And all the pipes were frozen. So if you got aftermath from Waffle House food, you better go back to your hotel room or wherever and hope that their plumbing still works.
Oh, last week, when everybody's out running, taking pictures, the northern lights down south.
Yeah.
Well, Saturday night you could still see a little bit of something, and I saw the southern lights. I got a picture of it.
I can't believe you fell for that one, Dan.
No, I was expecting.
I was actually expecting the Waffle House sign with the glove. It's Waffle House.
I was expecting the Atlanta airport. Actually, some friends in Australia and New Zealand did get to see the Southern Lights. We got to see the aurora down here. Of course, we got so many trees around. It was really difficult to find a dark space where somebody's security light wasn't in the way and still had something over the tree line that we could see. So, I mean, we could tell what it was, but it wasn't anything dramatic. Oh, there was one of the astronomy popularizers was on YouTube today going that CME, probably just because of a coincidence of the way it was aimed, we just barely avoided a Carrington event. Because the sunspot was almost exactly the same size and the intensity was almost exactly the same as what few records we've got of what it was back then. So we kind of dodged that bullet, but we've still got a whole nother year to go before the solar maximum starts winding down towards the solar minimum. So we got the rest of this year and next year, and Faraday cages are a thing, folks. My entire house is one. I didn't plan it that way. It's just the way that they put the reinforcements in between every layer of brick and concrete block. It's like we got a 2-layer Faraday cage here.
Oh, I got to thinking about something. Could you imagine had that event happened right before the solar eclipse? How that would have looked?
Yeah.
The world will be coming to an end.
Well, yeah, they think the world's coming to an end because Walmart's out of bread. Ham and shortwave radio bands were wiped out for a few days. Yeah, I'm not a bit surprised. Cell phones were a little bit weird. Alltel actually gave good internet service for a change. I'm sure that was entirely accidental because I know they wouldn't do that on purpose. The Wi-Fi in the house was flawless. Like I said, Faraday cage. That
was probably why I couldn't watch Doctor Who last weekend. What?
I'm not a fan of dance numbers in Doctor Who, but it seems to be a thing now. So, I started watching way back when, and I haven't given it up for any reason so far. So Now, this too will change sooner or later.
But they better not do too many more of them.
It's not going to keep me from watching it. It might keep me from rewatching an episode, which I am wont to do. There's certain episodes I will watch like 15 or 20 times, not in a row, but go back and go, oh, I'm in the mood to watch one. It's between seasons. Oh, yeah, that's a good one. Pull it up.
Well, my favorite, if I'm gonna pull it up and watch it, is Blink.
Yes, that was one that I had in mind when I said that. And I will even go way further back and watch Patrick Troughton and Tomb of the Cybermen and a couple of John Pertwee episodes that are really favorites of mine. About half a dozen Tom Baker episodes. Several Peter Davisons, a couple of Colin Bakers, a lot of Sylvester McCoy.
Well, Blink was supposed to be a spinoff.
That has been mooted about and discussed. It's popular enough to where if it was supposed to be The Adventures of Sally Sparrow pilot, that would have already happened.
Yeah.
There's supposed to be a unit spinoff in the works, and a few other things.
Well, with Disney money, it's possible now.
Yes. There are a few things that they might shy away from just because certain actors have acted up. And yes, Carl, that's exactly what I was thinking of. At first, I couldn't stand Torchwood, and I definitely will not watch the Children of Earth season. But Miracle Day, that was kind of tough to watch, but it was okay. Torchwood's not my cup of tea.
And we almost had probably the most famous before getting the job companion ever with David Tennant.
Okay.
Kylie Minogue.
Oh, yeah. Well,
they approached her and she turned it down.
Yeah, that's why they killed her off at the end of the episode. You don't want to come back? We'll make sure you can't. Yeah. Yeah, Torchwood did get dark in some episodes. It wasn't so much the darkness as it was really, if I wanted to watch porn, I've got a perfectly good computer. Maybe I'm overly conservative. I don't know.
Ouch.
Uh-oh, John put his glasses on for something. What?
I didn't hear anything about this today. I mowed grass, so I didn't pay any attention to the news. But
oh,
ouch!
Apparently, that happened on I-24 coming off Monteagle Mountain. Looks like it's on the far side, like they were going to Nashville.
Oh, okay. I thought they was going up the ridge cut.
No, it's over in Grundy County. Yeah, I believe that's over by that rock quarry where the rock fell out in the road a few years back.
Yeah. Yeah, I know where you're talking about, coming down right before the rest area.
Right after the rest area, actually.
Oh, that's after the rest area? Okay.
Because that rock wall disappears right in front of the rest area up there.
Well, that concrete divider in the center is going to have to be repaired.
Yeah, I believe that's one of those, what do you call where they put the money into it every year because they know they're going to need it. What's the word for that? Where it's budgeted.
Yes. Oh, Carl, I'm sure they're going to have that cleaned up before y'all come down for HallowCon.
Oh, it'll be cleaned up. They may not have the wall fixed, but it'll be cleaned up.
Hey, they might just, put a guardrail through there and go, hey, if you're going to keep knocking it down, we're going to make it easier and cheaper.
Wouldn't be surprised. They almost 3D print those things nowadays. So.
Yeah.
They've actually got that truck that runs down there and actually builds it as it's driving down the road.
Yep. There was one bridge on the far side of the University of Georgia from here. So on, I believe, Research Drive. Poor soul, somebody hit the concrete and the bridges had about 8 feet of space between them, right down in the Oconee River. And that bridge had just metal, what you call them, so the thing on the side of the road, the guardrails, had just metal guardrails patching up that hole for about 2 years. And traffic actually slowed down on that road because there was visible evidence of somebody getting killed for being stupid.
Yeah.
It's amazing in a college town you have to leave visible evidence. But yeah.
I wish Joe Bachman was here because me and John got a good story about bridge building for the freeway. The 24 project where they're doing the widening project.
Yeah.
They got 2 bridges, Moore Road and McBrien.
Yeah.
And they're just getting ready. They've cleared out everything. They're getting ready to put in the bridge. And turns out the beams that they ordered did not meet standards.
Oh, dear.
The beams were installed.
They were already installed. So now they're going to pull them out and bring in new beams.
That reminds me of when my dad's boss at the place that made machine parts for jet airplanes, he cheaped out and bought some inexpensive titanium. And Dad went ahead and made the parts. He's just shaking his head at it the whole time. They went through for the X-ray test, just absolutely full of micro cracks. The entire load of titanium had to be thrown away. Dad still got paid for about 6 weeks worth of making parts out of this garbage. The boss had to go back and buy some good stuff because the contract had not been fulfilled. So Dad got paid again for making the same parts out of something that did pass the X-ray tests. You'd think they'd X-ray the stuff before they actually had somebody.
Before they take possession of it, is okay. Let's see if this titanium's any good. Oops,
Yeah,
no,
really.
Don't want that one. Don't want that one.
No, I mean,
why don't you bring us back a good load of titanium?
really, it shouldn't never have left the shop to be delivered without being X-rayed for flaws.
Okay, I'm done eating now.
All right, go find me to buy Joe a hairbrush.
Comb if you want to.
Alexa,
Comb.
turn on show light.
Where were you when the resistance blew up the bridge? Okay.
Alexa, turn show light to 50%. Damn.
No, you've done told her to go fuck herself too many times. She is not about to turn down the lights for you.
Alexa, turn show light to 50%.
Try show lights to 5.
Alexa, turn show lights to 5%.
Not 5%.
Damn.
Level
You
5.
weren't
You only
expecting the
understand.
mothership when you told her to turn things on.
Damn.
About time you get a suntan, Joe.
Yeah.
That'll wake you up.
Yeah. Of course, I'm gonna be good and sleepy. 2 bean burritos and a Mexican pizza.
I wonder why I didn't take a nap earlier today. Lindsay had fixed me an enormous pancake and bacon.
Uh-oh.
Hey, there's Zach. And hash brown
And
and
he's back in
scrambled
the
eggs.
Zach cave. Hey.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Are you back in the Zach cave?
Yes, I'm in my room. I'm not in the studio because I'm under quarantine. Yay!
What did you do?
He went to
Yes,
England.
Guess who got COVID last week and didn't know?
Oh,
Again?
Is it? Do I have my punch card full yet? Have COVID 7 times, skip the 8th.
you just get a slushie at 7-Eleven. I'm sorry.
I wouldn't say no to that though. I'd love a
Well,
slushie.
this explains why you're not in India.
Yeah, I thought you were going to be in India, but yeah.
India is, well, if India is going to happen, India will be end of October.
Oh, okay.
Germany first, then Italy, and then we're trying to see if we can make India work. It's going to be difficult, but
Good luck. The British Empire never did. Ooh, that was cruel, Daniel. Shut up.
So you'll be back in the States for Flight 4.
sure, no. I'd love to be, but not for how much it costs to get down there. It's stupid, and it's
It'd
getting
probably
more
be
and
cheaper.
more.
It'd probably be cheaper to go to India and back. That's
Well, it is. That's the stupid part. It would have been cheaper. This is the stupid part. If it is actually about 3 weeks out, it would have been almost cheaper for me to stay in a hotel in England to fly and then fly to Houston to go to Starship than it is to have flown home, lived at a free house, and then get to Houston. It's depending on the day. It's stupid. It's absolute.
That just means you're going to be in Europe for HallowCon, so we will miss you.
I know. It's on the calendar. I'm like, no. Next year.
And, well, if they time it right, we could actually have a flight of Flight 5 by HallowCon or at HallowCon.
Yeah.
what you think they're going to crash it into HallowCon this time?
No, they'll stick the landing. Parking lot's going to be really crowded, but
Everybody's sitting out there complaining about all the trucks on I-75 out in front of HallowCon, and all of a sudden you see the Starship crash into the interstate.
No. If they were going to do that, they'd land at Waffle House.
Oh, Zach, you weren't here when I had the Raptor nozzle printed, were you?
I think you had just started it.
Of course, I
I can
screwed
see it in the background. That thing's freaking huge.
Alexa, turn studio lights to full. Okay.
No.
Has Joe worn it as a hat yet?
No, but it's only a matter of time.
How long? So is he wearing that around HallowCon this year? He's just going to
No.
put a strap on it.
Sometimes I feel meep.
By HallowCon, I'll have the. I'm waiting on Filament to get here. I'm gonna do the full print with engine and all.
Oh God,
Hey, Kiri.
I feel sorry for your 3D printer. It's gonna be
Which
used
one?
and abused.
Which one?
October.
The one they threw away or the new one?
The new one. The one that they threw away got saved.
I don't know how. Not even the Jehovah's Witnesses could save that thing. Oh.
My crumbo. No, the fun thing about COVID is we didn't know we had it because I got sick last week, and there's only one place possible that I got it, which is really unfortunate because it was a room of very, very important people. And the question is, who brought it? It was all CEOs and vice presidents and executive directors.
Oh, they probably all had it and refused to admit to it.
No. There's an easy way to solve that. Who was the most important CEO in the room? That will be the one.
Depends who you're asking.
Well, if you ask them, they're all equally, not equally important. They're all equally superior.
This company couldn't run without me.
Well, damn.
Are we
Why they
talking
pay me
about
$1.5 million a year?
Are we talking about the multi-$100 million companies or the multi-billion-dollar company CEOs?
Yes.
Yeah, that threw us when we were sitting in a room listening to a panel, and they're like, "Any questions?" And guy next to us, yes. Hello, I'm the vice president of Airbus. Hi. We were just chatting, having a coffee. Didn't know who you were. Nice to meet you.
That's all right. He didn't
"Yeah,
know who
I'm the
you were
CEO
either.
I'm the CEO of Thales Alenia Space. Huh? Okay.
Hi, I'm Neil Armstrong. You know,
I'm Zach. I'm from Canada. Do you like syrup?
I could send you a tree.
Well, Dan, I told you who I think I caught the con crud from, didn't I?
No.
We'll have to discuss. I'm not going to accuse him of it, but he is the.
Well, you are, just not publicly.
Yeah.
If you make it easy enough for me to guess, everybody's going to know. Stop right there.
Yeah.
well, first of all, you already said he, so that limits it to about, at least,
50% of the people at the con.
roughly.
No, that's about 75%.
That's right. It is a con. Women are at a certain.
Wait a minute. Half your staff is female, Joe.
That's because he's not stupid.
And almost half your guests were female.
Well,
It's what makes it
don't know.
fun.
but I felt like I should have gone to the general hospital for treatment.
No, you'd have wound up on Days of Your Lives.
I just told
And
you.
General Hospital just hadn't been the same since Rick Springfield left.
My wife would have gotten that joke, I swear.
Well, thing is, he's back. John?
Actually, General Hospital hadn't been the same since Luke and Laura left.
Well, half of them's back.
Do they still show those shows? I mean,
Yeah.
do we still have soap operas?
Yeah, my wife watches several every day, American and British.
British ones are probably better.
Hey,
Sort of.
I'm not going to debate it with her. I actually developed a favorite one back when I was married to my first wife and had to sit there with her and watch an entire channel's stuff.
I always liked Lark Hill to Candleford.
Oh yeah.
Well,
The one that kept my interest was Santa Barbara, because Lane Davies was in it, and Lane Davies is a smartass du jour. I mean, the man could ad lib his way through anything.
Let me ask you this: with as many baby swaps and malpractice, people dying.
You wouldn't want to go to General Hospital. No.
Yeah. How many General Hospital will be shut down?
Not even if Rescue 51 insisted on driving you there.
Well, they take you to Rampart.
Yeah.
That's their
I can still recite some of the stuff that they would say as soon as somebody goes in. We don't know what's wrong with them. Let's give them an IV. Keep them hydrated.
Bringer's lactate. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like House. House is the full blown smart ass.
Yeah.
Yeah, they ended that show when they thought they needed to before they got canceled. That was such a good show.
Yeah.
Well, have you ever
Last
seen?
couple seasons were weird.
Have you ever seen Hugh Laurie sit down and just play a piano? The man is amazing.
They approached him for one of the doctor roles.
Ooh, he would have been good.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He still could be. Is he doing anything now? Is he in any? He had one more show after House, and then
Give me a
feels like
second.
he disappeared off the planet.
He's.
I think he had a baby.
Back and collecting his residuals.
So 6 cents a month?
No, not for his contract. I do believe. He only played somebody stupid on Blackadder. He's not stupid.
Oh yeah, he was on Avenue 5 too. He was on Avenue 5, and then he was on.
Oh yeah, that's right. He played the captain on Avenue 5, and
he was on something before that though. Was it like a murder hotel thing or something?
Personal history, Catch-22, Veep, Tehran, Roadkill, Holmes and Watson. Why didn't they ask Evans? Amazing Maurice.
Oh God, he was in Veep.
He was in Veep. Yep. Apparently, let me see. Veep. He played Tom James. Daily Show. He was on Daily Show. People Who Canterville Ghost. All the Light We Cannot See, and then In the Know. Let's see. What was he doing before all that? Go back to The Night Manager, Tomorrowland. He was in that movie.
That was the one. Night Manager was the one I was thinking of.
Okay. And then Mr. Pip, Shrek's House, Arthur Christmas.
Will y'all please quit posting so I can click on the correct link here? They just got back from some Muncie hunting. Okay.
I totally forgot to do that on my whole journey home.
Oh. Well, don't you have to turn off your
So
cell
many.
phone most of the time? So.
Well, I had to take the train for 2 hours, then a 45-minute car through Edinburgh, another 20-minute car through Edinburgh. Calgary Airport probably had 7. Dang it.
7 hours to
Hmm?
get through Calgary Airport? I heard that's about right.
Oh, no, that'd be Toronto Airport. Calgary's not bad. Toronto's crap. You know what's bad when the flight attendants I was talking to are like, yeah, we all bid to avoid that airport. And I was like, that's bad then. I pay money to avoid that airport. You don't want to work it. Just shut it down. No one
British
wants to be there.
airports are a whole lot less painful to have to go through security in than American airports and apparently Canadian airports. Haven't been
Edinburgh
to Canada
Airport
to judge
security
myself, but
is stupid. So they make you queue. First of all, you drop your bags, like check-in desks, on one floor. Then you have to find the hidden stairwell to get to the second floor. Walk the length of the airport to the corner, where you get into this, for lack of better description, you're all cows being hurtled into this corner. And then suddenly there is just this row of 10 gates, and you think you're at the horse track because they have green and red lights on them. And it's go, 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 go until one guy yells, stop, and they all turn red. And he has to stop the gates and literally turn them off because there's just a herd of people on the other side of the gate waiting to slowly work themselves into a single file queue that loops back and forth about 15 times. And then someone at the end decides which lane of security you're going to go into. But they don't tell you. They just put different styles up. So your queue might just keep going for another like 25 times, slowly getting shorter each time as you get to the end. But then they don't make you take your shoes off. Everything else is like US security, belt, laptops, all that. You go through one scanner, and then they decide on that scanner if they don't like your shoes. And then they tell you to go in the green lane, the yellow lane, or the red.
That's smarter. Yeah.
And then the red lane, you have to take your shoes off, put them through a different scanner. Then you go through the new, bigger scanners that the US has, like the ones. And then they decide if they still don't like you enough that then they get to grope you down in front of everyone.
Oh, I always volunteer for that.
First class treatment. I got all the feelings.
oh,
Hey,
they always
I spinal
make my wife go through the 3D
booth
body
checker.
scanner.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's rather well endowed, and everybody wants a look, and I'm going, Hugh Hefner, where were you when I needed a contract?
I was a light combat engineer, so what's funny is most of my military baggage is duffel bags and rucksacks and stuff like that. And of course, every piece of it tests positive for plastic explosives. I mean, just
even your fingerprints are probably soaked with ammonium nitrate.
This would check positive for plastic explosives. Me and the security guy at Level Field, he was playing around with nitrate swabs. I said, here, swab this. Before I check it in, swab this. He went, holy shit.
You do.
I only use it to cut serious putty.
What do you do? I'll blow up the things that blow up.
And he was sitting there and he was telling me, he says, we have to do this, but we all know better than to do military duffel bags and rucksacks because it's always going to test positive for something nitrate. So that's.
Oh, believe me, if I was still farming, I wouldn't be able to get through an airport.
Oh, they did that to us. They gave us that spray. So if you think somebody's been shooting a gun, you spray it on their hands, and if they've got nitrates on their fingers, hand turns purple. That way you can tell if they've been using any sort of explosives or gunpowder or anything like that. We lived in a farming community in Iraq. Everything around us was farms. You could not spray this stuff on the dirt without it turning purple. I mean, it was just that.
If they made you go through an X-ray, your lungs would have been purple.
But what was funny was sometimes we'd use it just to piss people off. So some guy being an asshole at a checkpoint. Let me see your hands for a minute. Hey, check positive for nitrates. Everybody's pointing guns at you.
Probably not the first or last time.
No.
Ah,
Well, if it goes to court, we checked him with the stuff, and he tested positive for nitrates. You know, of course, the defense attorney will immediately. It's a farming community. Everybody tests positive for nitrates. Yeah, we know.
mhm.
That's yeah, we know. But he was being an asshole. So, you cannot say that about my client. Really? Wait till you try and get him to pay your bill. Is that asshole? Um,
Pretty much, yeah.
it's kind of funny. We kept catching these guys we thought were bombers. So we turned them in, find the explosives and all that sort of stuff like that. So we turned them over to the Iraqi police. And sure enough, they get a lawyer from Syria who was a member
Imagine that.
who was a member of the Ba'ath Party, which was Saddam Hussein's organization. Ba'ath Party only exists in two countries, Iraq and Syria, and we kind of outlawed it in Syria or Iraq. So the only place it really existed was Syria, and that's where all the diehard Saddam Hussein supporters wound up fleeing to. They said, "Oh, well, the United States Army didn't find any weapons of mass destruction." True,
Because they were all in Syria.
because they were all in Syria, and the Syrian government used them on their people. Imagine that.
Well, they were just sitting there, getting old. Hello, Michaela.
If y'all excuse me, I'm going to get some more refreshment.
Jeepers criminy.
What you got, Zach?
I opened Munzie. Obviously never opened it at home. I live next to a shopping district.
Guess where you're going to take a walk as soon as you're released from quarantine?
That's ridiculous.
Zach, maybe you just open the
That's
window and
kinda
wave
light,
it around.
actually.
Up a half
I
dozen.
was going to say, can I just, get a drone, throw my phone over? Any of these close enough?
Talk to Carl.
How the hell did
Underwater.
one show up in my bedroom?
Well, that would involve me going out, Carl, and I don't go out when I'm in this country. Oh, and the more the other direction.
Yeah.
If I leave the house, I'm set. I literally can't. Yeah.
Carl was showing where
That's
he and
ridiculous.
Donna live and where Dawn lives, and it was just like a solid wall of green.
Yeah. Yeah, I need to read Carl's thing.
Yeah. It's free.
I have it downloaded. I was going to read it on the plane, but that didn't happen.
Too many airline peanuts?
No, I was in business class in a lay flat seat, so I was enjoying
You
life.
slept the entire trip.
I didn't. I slept 90 minutes. I let myself take a 90-minute nap. I have never walked off a plane more rested than I was getting on it. It was glorious. I watched 2.5 movies. I published about 6 or 7 articles from 39,000 feet. I watched a rocket launch. I had 2 amazing meals. Talked to the flight attendants for 30 minutes. Did like 5 other things. It was a great 8 hours and 15 minutes.
Carl, Dawn and Carl did a few shows about Munzie in the last 2 weeks on Independent Creator Directory, and
I had episode 2 pop up last night and it started playing. Yeah. Problem is, I can't fly economy anymore. That's a problem. It was nice. I got a good price on it. That's the only reason I bought it. It was $200 more than the ticket
What'd
I
I
was
miss?
already going to buy, and I had credit.
What I miss? You had a new light. You got a new toy, and you're.
No, I said I can never fly economy again because my 8-hour and 15-minute flight home was in business. Yeah.
Business class.
The
Yeah.
only complaint I had was the woman in front of me. Believe it or not, still, even in business class, woman in front of me was the problem. Because it's a long flight, so they've dimmed the lights. So everyone's trying to have like a snooze and enjoy business class. Woman keeps opening her window to full brightness. The rest of the cabin is pitch black. Every 20 minutes, this lady would fall asleep, and the flight attendant would walk over to the panel and hit darken windows, and it would re-darken the whole room because this one lady's windows is lighting up the whole cabin. Within 5 minutes of it going dark, you'd see her reach over. She couldn't see anything. We're at 39,000 feet in whiteness. It's Greenland. There's nothing to see about white. Yeah. She was annoying.
I used to sit on. I got stuck in a window seat one time on a 747 coming back, and just the two guys next to me were asleep, so I couldn't get up and walk around or anything like that.
Ooh.
Yeah, and so I'm sitting here looking out the window, and I keep seeing ships, which was kind of cool.
That would have been cool.
You see all the ocean line. Yeah, apparently wherever we were flying was over a shipping lane, so I kept seeing huge container ships, the occasional ocean liner, like one of the cruise ships or something like that. And then I saw an aircraft carrier.
Ooh.
And I'm not sure. I saw either a cruiser or an Ollie Burke destroyer. I couldn't tell at the distance and the clouds and everything if it was a Tico or an Ollie Burke. But no, so I was like, ooh, you see. That'd be Fifth Fleet, wouldn't it? It's like.
Yeah, that's the only issue with this business class seat. You can't look down because you're so far away from the window. You can only look out. So anything within 40, 45 degree angle of the plane downwards, you can't see. Unless you get up on your knees and are like looking over, and at that point the flight attendant's going to question, why are you in business?
Okay. Have you seen those blended wing aircraft with the whole thing? Apparently there's this one they're designing. I think it's Airbus doing it. I can't remember who. But every window seat will look forward, sort of.
Yeah.
So you can see what you're crashing into.
Yeah. Those are just going to get very dirty.
Can you imagine being in there and watching the landing like that?
I don't know if I would like that or not.
I have a problem. I know enough about flying an airplane that I get nervous if I hear stuff that is kind of out of the ordinary.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very sensitive to the most subtle tilting and adjusting. I can tell we're turning before the plane's sensors tell you you're turning. And when you're coming in flying, I could feel us, ever so slightly coming in on a slight angle. And it's like, I can see the runway. Wait, why can I see the runway? I'm 4 rows back. And there's another 5 rows worth of room till the cockpit. Can you straighten up a little?
Crosswind landings.
Crosswinds, yeah.
Luckily, it wasn't a bad one, but it was enough.
I was on an old 747. I've been on 747s a lot, but mostly going to Europe or Iraq. And sitting on this one plane, and I've been on 747s a lot, so I know what it sounds like when a 747 is landing. They start landing, you could hear the flaps going down, officers. They started putting, and of course, 747's got some major flaps. Like half the damn wing is flap. So they start putting the flaps, and I'm on the port side, right behind the wing. The flaps are coming down, and I hear the bang, 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 bang. And I'm like, that's not supposed to make that sound. Apparently, the jacks that unscrew and screw the flaps down, one of them needed some maintenance.
Oh, and as Zach was saying about being able to feel the motion of the plane, the tilt and the turns and everything else, that's one of the things that I enjoy about being on an airplane. I can feel that intrinsically. I'm sitting there, I could have my eyes closed and go, banking left, oh, banking right, nose down, nose up, turbulence.
Yeah,
I like it except for the turbulence part, but that's because I've dropped over anywhere. I don't know the exact number, but it was between 1,500 and 2,000 feet in about 20 seconds. Turn sideways in a plane while coming in for landing. Once you do that, you don't like turbulence. Yeah, air pockets suck. It went from seeing people had pools in their backyard to seeing the eyes of people in their pools.
Well,
and the flight attendant against the roof. But she was fine. She walked it off.
Last time I was on an airliner and they were having turbulence, our seats were in the back, and I was in the toilet.
Did you start off
Every
that way, or did
time?
you wind up after the turbulence?
No, I started off in the
Just
toilet.
checking.
I wound up with one hand bracing myself against the ceiling so I didn't make a mess. Because be damned if I've been able to stop anything by that time.
If you want to know when you're going to have turbulence on your flight, if I'm on board, it's right after I've closed the lav door.
Mm-hmm.
Every time. 8-hour flight, went twice, both times. The only turbulence we had on the whole plane. Sorry, folks. Really?
What did you eat?
sounds like something I'd have to go through.
Ladies and gentlemen, due to the redneck in the toilet in the rear of the plane, we're going to have a little turbulence for the next 5 minutes.
We're going to have an emergency.
On the other hand, we don't need an in-flight refueling now.
They put me on this one plane. I can't remember what model it is, but it's one of the puddle. We call them puddle jumpers. And it had the wing above the fuselage and propeller.
Yeah, they're bringing those back.
Turboprop engines hanging down under the wings. And what caught my attention, it had the same engines and propellers that the C-130 had, the big four-bladed prop and the turboprops. That fascinated me. I was like, oh, great, they're putting this on a puddle jumper. I started looking at the engine and go, that looks just like the Pratt & Whitneys they use on a C-130. And sure enough, pilot came back. It's one of those planes, you know how you're supposed to have the security door? I don't think they had a security door on this plane because the pilot kept coming back talking to us. They didn't do the announcements over the radio. It was like you'd open the door, step back there for a moment. Hey, folks, we're going to Atlanta.
Oh, have y'all seen that picture of the guy was coming back with his dog from Iraq, and the dog was sitting in the front seat, sitting in the seat, watching the flight attendant as she gave the announcement. And she came by and he said, and, rubbed the dog on the head and said, this is the only one that paid attention to me through the whole speech.
He's a good boy. He paid attention to the entire safety brief.
All right.
This is that plane that NASA's working on with Boeing, which, I mean, probably never going to happen because it's Boeing, but.
Oh, it'll probably happen. The doors will fall off.
Well, no, the wings will fall off. The wing supports or something.
I've been seeing
If-
I've been seeing a lot of designs like that with the support. There's Airbus. Have you seen that new helicopter plane hybrid thing that they've got that they're coming out with? They just announced it this week.
Oh, no.
It's a customer helicopter. It holds about 12, 14 people, something like that. But it's got the propeller up top or the rotor up top, just like a regular helicopter, but it's got 2 pusher engines and
okay.
wings like that. And apparently it's going through flight train or testing right now.
Oh, yeah, it's not a mock-up. It's real.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow. Hello.
Yeah, that thing.
Yeah.
That looks like a character out of the upcoming, what is it, Pixar Planes movie. Like, it just looks like it already has a face and eyebrows.
And it's not happy.
Hey, Chopper, how you doing? You know.
No, I was on Q400s.
and they call it Airwolf.
I was on
I kept-
these diggy little planes for the 40-minute hopper from Edmonton to Calgary both ways.
Yeah.
Going down, totally fine. The slight problem is when you fly business or business or premium, that don't exist on that plane. So they put you in the front row of the plane. The slight issue is they're like, oh, row 1A, 1A, B, 2C, D. The issue is the window seats, which are normally a nice seat to have. The plane's so small, the curvature of the plane comes halfway through your seat where your legs are supposed to go. And that's where they put me. On the going down was totally fine. Actually, quite comfortable going down. I was quite impressed. 2 days ago, no, they had to swap a person with me because ain't no way in hell. This somehow was a smaller plane than the one I was on going down. And they say they only fly the Q400s. I think they have an M-bar version as well. That's not the Q400 that they fly, but they only have a few of them. But they stopped flying the 737s and only fly this thing. It is so small. If you are 5'10", you have to duck getting in the door. And they have a pillow because everybody bunks their head. It is so small. Makes no sense why this thing still flies.
No.
They force half the people to check their carry-on.
Last
The
few
issue
times
is
I flew, I managed to annoy a lot of the people sitting around and behind me because they were trying to watch whatever new release movie that they would get, and I still had the in-flight tracking screen where I could watch our progress because I didn't care about movies. I mean, if I wanted to be distracted, I've got books. So I'm sitting
What's
there
a book?
watching the maps and everything, watching the temperature drop and minus 40. I know exactly what that is in both systems. So
Yep.
and everybody else, somebody was watching Clash of the Titans ahead of me. I remember that because I had to figure out what the movie was, and then I had a few obvious clues. But it's like I was getting dirty looks from people for watching the in-flight map. You pick your entertainment, I pick mine, okay?
Yeah,
no
I always want the
sound.
map open. See, I like I'm trying to remember what plane it was I was on. I think it was the Dreamliner in premium. They have a TV on the wall that they put the map on at the front of the cabin, which they didn't have in business, and I don't believe they have an economy either. But I think that's a nice thing to have. When I flew on a 747 in the early 2010s, we were flying from Paris to Toronto. None of the seats had in-flight seat back entertainment. So they were handing everybody French magazines when we got on, and everyone was pissed. But they had a TV every 15 rows up in the bulkhead. And to me, those should still be installed. Just put the flight map there. So then I can watch my entertainment, but the flight info is available so you don't have to pick. because I had to stop my movie and go. I mean, most of them are now just telling you to open it on your phone because it's free to just download their app and you can see it on your phone now. But it's nice just having a glance over. Oh, okay, that's where we are.
Oh yeah.
WestJet does a nice thing that you can manually do it or you can put it on the rotating one. That they show you a pilot view, but then they show you the left window and right window view of what you could actually see out the window accordingly, so you can kind of see a 3D window and then see the horizon line and what cities are which. So then you can actually look out your window and have an idea what you're looking at rather than trying to guess how far away that is. So I've always liked that one that they have, but
I
the
really
people that
ought to
design
check
planes
and
don't.
see if my brother-in-law still has his Piper Cherokee. Little four-seater, four-banger. That was a lot of fun. He took us to a family reunion one time. We got up above the lake where I used to go fishing with my dad and my uncle, and he just put it on one wing and let me look down at the lake. I'm going, this is cool. My sister's going, Lamar, stop that.
Yeah. See, I like the big planes where I can feel we're turning, but I don't have to feel like we're sideways. And then the little prop plane, those 32 minutes could not pass fast enough. When that thing turned, it was just.
Maybe it's because I spent so much time riding motorcycles, but being able to feel the motion and actually look to the side and see the motions never bothers me. Um, it's just I don't know. I mean, I've never had um, any experience on an airplane except as a passenger. I've never had any uh, flying lessons or anything like that. Haven't ever really felt the need. But um, things are getting to the point in time to where I'm going. Anybody got a helicopter for sale cheap? Uh, that'd be a good way to go to Dalton. Woo! Skip Atlanta entirely. Um, or Chattanooga for that matter. Just land in the hotel parking lot, um, on top of the parking garage, whatever. Um, I'll pay the fines. Somebody got to help me with the luggage. Uh,
Yeah, that was one of the problems being in the military. Was you were on a plane for at least 6 hours, so more than likely you got 2 meals, which we found out later was against Geneva Convention for torture and abuse of soldiers.
what do you mean beanie weenies aren't allowed? Uh, hmm. What's the Royal Dutch Airlines called? Is that
KLM,
KLM?
best airplane I've ever been on.
They know how to treat you right, but a $4 can of beer.
When they found out we were all U.S. service members, they didn't charge us a thing.
Party plane.
Well, they had this company that worked with the U.S. military called ACES. I can't remember what the acronym stood for, but they would buy up empty seats on airplanes for soldiers. So you had to be there waiting for it. Is that a goat? Oh, that's no.
Nah, it's just that damn werewolf again.
Joe, we can't hear you.
Hey! You had to tell him.
No, she's partial goat because she'll eat shit a goat won't touch.
Like the cat behind you.
What? All right, go. Time for bed. Go to bed. Go. Go to bed. Where'd Dan run off to?
The fridge.
Oh, okay.
I didn't figure there's any reason to kill my cameras and some just walking three feet. I really should put that thing to where I just lean over, but there's not enough outlets filled with computer stuff.
Well, I'm going to try an experiment tomorrow for dinner.
Oh
no.
I'm going to try and make German-style currywurst.
Okay.
This sounds like a bad idea.
I need to be enlightened.
It's basically a sliced you roast the bratwurst, slice it thin, and there's this sauce that goes on it. It's a German curry ketchup. You have to make it yourself. And then they put curry powder on top of it, and they normally serve it over French fries.
I have questions, but I'm not going to ask them. They start off with why.
It is a typical German street food. In other words, if you go to an Imbiss stand in Germany, usually the first thing on the list is currywurst.
Okay.
It's so famous in Berlin, they have a museum for it. Have you not seen me use the background for the currywurst museum?
Probably. Never heard
That one.
That one. Oh.
Yeah.
I thought that was Elon Musk's trailer.
Oh, that's his basement.
Nah, there's no whips and chains.
I didn't say which basement. This is level 1.
Oh, Zach, I made the other channel a little upset. I corrected them.
Oh, what did you do?
They kept saying the Ford Raptor that pulls the trailer, the Ford Raptor that pulls the trailer at the roadblock. Well, it pulls up at a different angle to where I could see it. I went, guys, I hate to tell you this. That's not a Ford Raptor. That's a Ram T-Rex. T-Rex eats the Raptors. Everybody's going, yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. No, it's a Ford Raptor. You got Ram on the hood taking up the center of the screen.
I will keep my thoughts to myself. This is recorded.
They won't admit they've made a mistake when it's blazoned across their screen. So I love it.
Yep.
I haven't encountered many people like that in my lifetime.
Doesn't surprise me. I like the people that were saying today, oh, it's stacked for launch. It's like, are you mad? No, it's not. It's stacked for testing. It has no flight termination installed. It needs to do a lot more testing. It needs to do a static fire. It needs to do a wet dress rehearsal. It needs to do pressure testing. That thing is being stacked and destacked at least 5 or 6 more times.
Well, they do put tiles on the back too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but they're trying to build a ship that's going to survive re-entry of better than 17,000 miles per hour, and they can't get the damn tiles to stay on going down the road at 15.
Doesn't go down the road at 15 miles an hour. It goes down the road at 2.
No, you ought to see it now. It freaking rolls.
Oh, did they pick up the speed now?
Oh yeah, the guy behind it's almost running.
Oh, shoot. Well done.
Joe Dog, you had a second cat enter your office.
Cat fight. Hey, Zach, have you seen this thing about, I think it's China stealing another SpaceX design? They're going to have that net thing for recovering their new rocket.
Yes.
It's been in
The
the news.
4 towers string thing that'll grab it out of the air. The one that everyone suggested for Starship and Elon.
Yeah, I thought I'm surprised they didn't put that on the boats.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
For capturing the Falcon 9. I
wonder if they would have. I mean, it would make sense instead of doing the Octograbber that they could just do that. I wonder if their concern is they make the ships too top heavy. Not top heavy, but like too tilty.
I shouldn't. I mean, the towers wouldn't have to be that strong. They just have to keep the rocket upright, you know.
Yeah.
And there's 4 of them. So.
Yeah, and the tension would be on the cables, not the towers, really. Curious? I don't know. We'll see if it works.
It seems like when they were first before that Falcon 9 actually took off. Yeah. It seems I remember seeing something that Elon Musk was experimenting with that or had an idea for it or something.
So. It came out with Starship when he first said they wanted to catch the booster. People are like trying to figure out how, because the thing, and most people still don't understand it, is they're not catching the ship with the grid fins. It just looks like they are.
Right.
There's just a trailer hitch ball joint pocket right below it that the chopsticks click into, and that's what they're catching it with. But to the naked eye, it looks like it's landing on the grid fins. So that's where people from the animations and now even real life. So people started sketching ideas of what can you catch with the grid fins. So, but that's all changing as they make it longer, taller, thicker.
Oh, Joe Dog, behind you.
Get down from there.
Someone's about to become a hat.
Or a pair of gloves.
Now, you remember Joe was talking about he wanted to get that paintball gun thing that was like AI controlled. It would detect people in the yard, shoot paintballs at them. Now you know why he wants one of those. It's nothing to do with trespassers.
Oh, good night, Carl.
Good night, Carl.
And just so everyone knows, before Carl goes to bed, I put the currywurst recipe I'm going to try on Stupid O'Clock, so y'all can see what it consists of. I've never made ketchup.
Sounds good.
I've never made ketchup before, so this ought to be kind of interesting.
Just go get it out of the bottle.
Well, it's German ketchup, so it's not American or,
That's fair.
But it starts off
not loaded with high fructose corn syrup. In other
exactly.
I was going to say, like most North American food, it's crap and full of a whole bunch of other crap that doesn't need to be in it.
The top 2 ingredients for this, or top 3, tomato paste, honey, and white wine vinegar.
Oh, sounds good.
And then some other flavorings.
Yeah, that's one thing I will miss well over here is that McDonald's, when you ask for ketchup, they don't give you ketchup. They give you rich tomato sauce for your dip. And it's like ketchup and marinara had a baby, but natural.
That does sound good.
And it was really good. And, you just, so much of it. It was so good.
When I was in Germany, if you'd go to a restaurant like McDonald's and order French fries with ketchup, they would give you a ketchup packet. But it wasn't like the little American ketchup packets. It was like the size of a salad dressing packet.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was like the size of a pack of cigarettes, sort of thing. And you got a nice serving of ketchup. Of course, the other weird thing that they did in Berlin that was kind of odd, mayonnaise with their French fries.
Yes, that's not odd.
Yes.
That's how you're supposed to eat chips. But there's a certain ratio: 2/3 mayo to 1/3 ketchup.
That's
Mix.
French. That's Thousand Island dressing.
But
Yeah.
you don't mix it all the way. You need to see the streaks of it.
I'll take your word for it.
Well mixed.
It's like mayo
I
chup.
Mayo on
Or
fries.
ketchup.
Kitchenaise? Ooh, there it was. Trademark on that. They have a lot of stuff over there that, one, I don't know why it's here, and two, I was even talking to the lead flight attendant, and she was saying, isn't the food so much better going back to Canada than it was on your flight here? And I was like, yeah. She's like, yeah, because North American food's crap. She's like, every trip I have a suitcase full of dry pasta and stuff in the hold because all the flight attendants go over and buy as much stuff as they're allowed to bring back every flight because they can't buy the same stuff in North America that doesn't have all the crap put into it. She said in Europe, she was saying she's lactose in North America. Moment she lands in the UK or Europe, she's totally fine. She can eat as much cheese and milk as she wants. But in North America, she can't touch it because of what we put into it.
Well, it's pasteurization.
Hey.
We overly pasteurize all our milk and dairy products. So.
Well, we don't. We have to put our eggs in the fridge. In the UK, they don't.
We don't either, but we do. Look who's here. Sliding into home plate.
Hi.
Hi.
Yep. And Dawn is waiting on a meet and greet. So
do we all get to meet them too, Dawn? Are you going to join and we can all be in the meet and greet?
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
Hi, my name's Dawn, and these are my friends.
And these are them.
None of them
people.
paid to see you.
Yes. Welcome. Hey, these are the reprobates I know. Excuse them. How you
This
doing,
is my
Emily?
community service.
I'm doing pretty good. I've been at my new job for a while now. It's been really, really nice. I'm taking more days off because my hours have been good, but I've been getting a lot of traffic and I've been reaching goals, so I don't have to. Let's just say they got into paying me overtime and I'd already made my goal, and they're like, we don't want to pay you overtime, kind of thing. They're still paying me it, but yeah, they were like, go home. Just go home.
You really. Nobody wants to pay overtime anymore. I mean, it's only time and a half.
Mhm.
Double.
I'm more than happy.
Double time on Sundays.
Double time on Sundays. When was that a rule?
Georgia.
Yeah, I got double time for working overtime on Sundays if I'd worked the entire week.
We got double overtime. We got double overtime for everything after 60 hours. You got overtime after 40 and then double overtime after 60.
The fruit stand was cheap.
My dad was an executive at a plant that made compact disc, and we would produce them. And the Doors movie came out. Warner Brothers wanted 20,000 copies of the 2-album set, The Doors' Greatest Hits. They wanted it in a week. We ordered everything. We were ready to go. The only thing we were waiting on was the master tape from Warner Brothers to arrive at the studio so that they could make our print for making the compact disc. So we were all sitting around twiddling our thumbs waiting on Warner Brothers.
Mm-hmm.
As you do.
It finally arrived. They went in, they did the thing, they started printing off all the CDs, and we started packaging them. 78 hours of staring at Jim Morrison's nipples.
You can only have so much of Jim Morrison's nipples.
My dad was the personnel manager at that plant, and I made more that week than he did. and I just worked in packaging.
Yeah, I didn't see the stuff.
One of the best paychecks I ever made outside the military. Let me tell you.
Hey, I had several weeks when I was trying to build up down payment money for the house. Worked 7 days straight. 4 days my regular shift and 3 days overtime, and Sundays was double time. And then we went through a holiday on another week, and I'm going, well, okay, I'll sign up. I actually wound up that week paying more in taxes than I wound up getting paid.
Oh shit!
And I took home about $1,300 after taxes. I was able to get the 10% down payment for the house within 6 months. So I wound up with $20,000 in 6 months stacked in the bank because I didn't have any time to go out and spend anything. Those were the days.
Back in my day.
No. Kind of glad that I'm out of it now. Started getting my pension check. Finally.
I was gonna say you counted down to your retirement.
For about 4 years, yeah.
Well, fuck. Well, hell yeah. Well, I can say fuck on here. Sorry, I'm used to work, and I try not to say fuck too much there.
It's late enough at night.
I really wish you guys wouldn't fucking keep saying fucking or fuck.
Well, Joe, if you just keep fucking acting like that, I might have to stop.
And Chris is with us.
HR is showing up.
Right,
Yeah, HR has shown up.
The electrical grinder, and then the tray, and then the basil, oregano, whatever you want to call it. Thank you.
That's two entirely different herbs. Basil is a very large leaf. Oregano is a very small leaf.
I'm not using any of those leaves, but I can't say those leave my favorite flower on there because of flagging reasons.
Around this neck of the woods, we call them tomato plants.
Oh,
I don't know. I try and buy all my oregano from Basil. He's got good deals
on tomato plants.
As long as you don't mix up the two.
I don't know. I mix the two in my well, no, not him, but the spices in my spaghetti sauce, along with several others.
Ooh, you know that big storm that hit Houston? It's breaking news right now. It's blowing windows out of the skyscrapers in downtown Houston.
What?
That's not good.
Well, apparently they were under tornado warning also. So.
Oh, damn.
That's not good either.
Slept most of the day. Oops.
They should have been listening to Josh. I'm sure he had a prediction going yesterday.
Well, it's heading into that same storm's heading into Louisiana. Looks like it's hitting Baton Rouge right as we're speaking.
It'll be in Alabama before sunrise.
It's already the tip of it's already getting into the Mississippi border there, right. You know where the Stennis Space Test Facility is there, Zach?
Yep.
It's just getting hit with it.
Oh, nice.
Just barely.
He's like, there goes one of my jobs.
Yeah.
For this weekend, people, if you're in Chattanooga,
Uh-oh.
Oh,
just
Yeah.
Let me just get on my private jet.
probably won't work, but I can show it off anyway.
Oh, it's
Damn
not
it.
picking up the QR code. Oh, almost.
Tilt it back toward your face a little bit.
Yeah. Keep going.
Thesis made that for me last night.
Oh. Does it work?
Nice.
That's the QR code for my Bandcamp website.
Not at Bandcamp.
Yes.
There is the
focusing on
HallowCon.
our
Oh, there it focuses. There you go. Take a screenshot. Carl, do whatever you need to that.
yeah, but look in the center of it.
I know. It's that. It's called
got-
with a.
It's got our Grim Reaper.
Mm-hmm.
I already went to my word processor and shrank the QR code down to about 2 by 2.5 inches
No, but I know he watches.
so that I
these.
can print the darn thing out
Oh, John, that's cool.
and just hand it out at HallowCon or LibertyCon, except nobody wants to buy anything from me at LibertyCon. Oh, thank you, Chris. Yes, it is. Friday is Bandcamp does not take their cut out of any sales
On
and the
Fridays?
artist. Well, I think it's one Friday every month. But yeah, everything goes directly to the people you're buying the music from.
Nice. So it goes
Yeah,
to the
yeah.
actual.
Well, then I'm
artist.
gonna have to start spending more money there on Fridays.
Hey, I'll never tell people not to spend money there.
And I'll buy one of your $10 items and double hit the zero.
Yeah, like fun. I can see Joe Dog coming off the hip for $100 for a $10 album. That's going to be in the PayPal dispute in a hurry. I've got to figure a way to get some the songs to Mike Jimmy because he doesn't have the money. And I have done that before for Joe Dog when HallowCon costs were kind of eating the budget and he wanted something. So I'll have to figure out how I can do that again because I don't. I know there's a way. It's just not easy to engineer. But just wait till he downloads whatever it is he wants and then put the price back up. Oh, Lord.
Cigarettes are all right on here. Cigarettes are all right on here, right? I just know I can't have my other things.
Yeah.
Well, it's Joe Dog's show, and I don't want to get. I'm trying to point to his little corner, and I don't want him to get like canceled for it or anything.
Get me canceled. Get me canceled. I can use a vacation.
I was gonna say I'll bring out my big piece then.
That's okay.
They had this thing called The Portal. And they had one in Dublin, Ireland, and they put the other one in downtown New York City.
I heard this. Okay, keep talking. I've heard about this, and I've seen this.
They had to shut it down.
What?
They had to shut it down because women and men in New York were exposing themselves.
That doesn't surprise
through
me.
the portal to the people in Dublin.
That doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
And most of them were OnlyFans stars.
Yeah, they were all
Why?
OnlyFans stars with QR
Why
codes.
would anyone in Dublin, Ireland want to put a portal to New York City?
Well, someone in Dublin thought it was funny when they first turned it on to walk up with their cell phone in front of the camera and swipe. They showed a picture of 9/11.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, they showed a picture of 9/11 and it was
Like, really? Can't
in New
have
York.
nice things.
Yeah.
Donna, there is not anything newer than the first Old Dan story in audio. And that's been a couple of weeks. So yeah. Basically, I save up stuff until I've got an entire album's worth most of the time, and then release it as an album, and it's usually like $10 or whatever you want to pay above that for the album, or 50 cents per song or whatever you want to pay above that. And some of the albums have 15, 20 songs on them, so you're getting your money's worth anyway.
Wow. Houston is absolutely destroyed.
I have writing to do. I have my publisher expecting 3 books. Right now, the only thing that I am worried about for music is the soundtrack to Life on Korra for Mike Jimmy. And when I finally get the complete edit and I can go ahead and start composing the music so that it fits the animation, I will get to that. But right now, I've got another Spaceport Bar book that the publisher wants. I've got the fantasy book that the publisher wants. I've got to re-edit the steampunk book that the publisher does not know about, but is already written, so I might as well. And there's a couple of other things he wants that are going to have to be long term. And that's enough about me. I mean, here, it's not my show. It will be in 7 minutes.
Well, if you want to start early, I can let you have it.
I was gonna say I'm okay with getting you canceled, but I wouldn't want to get Joe Dog canceled.
He does it himself?
Which one?
Both.
I just had to be careful not to green room myself more than about 6 times every 30 minutes.
That's a new record. You're doing pretty good.
I've got goals. I'm working towards it. Yeah.
Hey, I got a green room joke to wrap the show.
Oh, no.
Go.
It's this farmer. He's sitting on his porch, and this kid comes up, and he goes, I've noticed you got a bunch of honeysuckle in the back. Could I go pick some and get some honey? And the guy told him, he said, that's not where honey comes from. But if you want to, go pick the honeysuckle to get honey, go right ahead. About an hour and a half, 2 hours later, he comes back with 2 gallons of honey. He says, here, gave him one of the gallons of honey and took the other one home. The next day he comes back and he says, I noticed you got some milkweed out there. Mind if I, get some to make some milk? And the farmer goes, son, that's not where milk comes from. But, just knock yourself out. If you're going to pull it all down, go for it. And there's a kid says, okay, he leaves, comes back a little later, hands the farmer a gallon of milk. He's got a gallon of milk. And the farmer goes, I don't know how this kid's doing it, but next time he comes back, I'm going with him, see what the trick is. The farmer goes, well, next day, kid comes back and he says, hey, I noticed that you got a lot of pussy willows in the back. He said, let me get my hat. Dan, you liked that one, didn't you?
It's not what I was expecting, but yeah.
Oh.
That was great. And perfect timing, too.
Yeah.
Reminds me of a joke. A ventriloquist is traveling cross country. He's out in Arizona, New Mexico area, and he pulls over at one of these little sideshow, roadside attraction type things. And there's old Indians, so he's gassing up his car, and there's this old Indian sitting out in front. Indian's got a burro sitting next to him, and this old hound dog sitting next to him. Ventriloquist goes over and he says, I have a special power. I can talk to animals. Indian just kind of looks at him. He goes, watch, I'll show you. He says, hey, dog. And the dog goes, yeah, what? And the Indian just, like, oh my God, the dog talked. He says, what do you think of that Indian there? The dog goes, oh, he's pretty good, feeds me, treats me well, doesn't beat me or anything like that. He's a pretty good owner. Says, watch this. Says, hey, donkey. Says, donkey goes, yeah, what? He says, what do you think about that? What do you think about that Indian over there? He goes, oh, he's pretty good, doesn't work me too hard, treats me well, feeds me well. Says, pretty good guy. Okay. He looks over and sees there's some sheep in a pen. He goes, hey, Indian, see those sheep over there? He goes, Indian goes, no, sheep lie.
And that's all, folks.
See, I'm surprised Joe didn't have the drum roll ready for me.
I wasn't thinking, or I would have.
But anyway, folks, it's been a
Good night, everybody.
Yeah.
Good night, everybody.
All right.
Visit
John,
the gift shop. Yeah. And so
John, you go ahead and hit. I'll end. Push the button, John.
you want me to do the button this time?
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see. I gotta find the button. Button. Where's the button? Good night, everybody.
I have slept the surly bonds of earth and danced the skies on laughter-silvered wings. Sunward I've climbed and joined the tumbling mirth of sun-split clouds and done 100 things you have not dreamed of. Wheeled and soared and swung high in the sunlit silence. Hovering there, I've chased the shouting wind along and flung my eager craft through footless halls of air. Up, up the long, delirious, burning blue, I've topped the windswept heights with easy grace, when never lark nor even eagle flew. And while with silent, lifting mind, I've trod the high, untrespassed sanctity of space. Put out my hand and touched the face of God.